Hey everyone, how's it going? So, I'm sure that most of you who are watching this saw this video where I crushed this guy's Kuro Khan in a very brutal manner. And if you haven't seen it, I think you should go check it out because it is a bit more entertaining, kind of just putting on the persona. But anyways, so this was the rematch, and with 2 rounds left, I had just drawn the best player last night. So I had just drawn the National Master, and I was the only one who could stop him. So going into day two, I knew I was facing two opponents who were definitely weaker than me, and I just, got the whole, I'm out of the running. These guys are also out of the running, but, now I'm just here for rating. So this game, I think, is actually a really nice King's Indian sort of showcase. So we get d4 and then we transpose eventually into a King's Indian. So King's Indian, I've already shown it on the channel quite a few times. I've been playing this opening for like 3 years. Honestly, I'm probably going to make a YouTube video on it because this has helped get me to almost 2,400 online from like 14, 1,500. So I'm going to go make a video on that soon. And if there's any other openings or things you guys want to see, just drop a comment and I'll make sure to make a video. But anyways, in the King's Indian, the main move is e4, although sometimes bishop g5 is played, sort of similar to what he played. Um, but he goes bishop f4. And now this is, as I've said before, like usually a move people play when they don't really know theory. And it's kind of just solid. Usually the idea, at least in the bishop g5, is I knew that in some blitz games, this has happened to me a couple times where they go here, here, then they go queen here. We develop, then pretty much they trade, takes here, and then they just straight try and kill my king. I've had that happen to me a ton, so that's what I was expecting, and luckily I had done a solid bit of prep on those lines. But he went here, and I was like, okay, we're gonna play the main move, d6. This is preparing, you know, some sort of central break. And then he goes queen d2, and I go, okay, we got the structure. I guess he could now go for e4, e3, but generally e4 is pretty inaccurate here because of this little pawn sack. And what happens is that after takes, usually queen takes, I am giving up a pawn, but I get such large compensation by guarding this that this pawn will fall soon, and there's discoveries, and let's say they make a normal move. Then I can go here, then I'm going to win back this pawn, or get the bishop pair, and it's really nice compensation. I don't know if he knew that, but he went queen d2, so playing what I talked about. I'm like, okay, so he clearly wants to attack me, most likely, because why else are you going for it? Like the King's Indian bishop, it's good. It's used for a lot of tactics, which I'll show in that, aforementioned video. But but it's generally not like something that the opponent should rush to get rid of because it kind of gets trapped in most lines. So I go c5. It's pretty normal. He has a big center. I kind of want to disrupt it. Another rule in chess, he has two center pawns. I have two center pawns. It's better to give up a side pawn for a center pawn. Control the center, control the game. You choose the direction. So he goes bishop h6. And then I took here, knight takes, and then I went knight c6. And this is where I was officially like just on my own. I've had positions very similar to this online, but usually with the pawn here or usually with the pawn here. So I wasn't really sure the differences. Now here, I think I'm supposed to take, which I learned now, and then go knight c6. But frankly, I don't really know what the difference is here. I guess maybe he just has less space, but I don't know why I need to bring the queen over here. Because generally I don't want to get attacked in this game. So, but okay. Note to anyone who sees this position, take the bishop and just say, yeah, fuck you, I guess. Your attack, yeah, it's nothing. Okay. Knight c6, and then takes, and then he went e3, and I'm like, so to clarify, you spent 1 tempo, 2 tempo, 3 tempo, 4 tempo, and you're not even going to start an attack? Like, I was at least expecting some gusto, like something crazy, but no, he's just playing. He's just going to develop the bishop now, and I'm like, okay. I mean, it's crazy that he's not even going pawn to e4. which this just looks better. And then this is pretty much a Dragon Sicilian Maroxy bind, but I have a few extra tempo. So a bit better for me than the regular. E3, and then I went Queen A5. I'd been calculating here for a while, but I saw that after takes, Queen takes was pretty reasonable. Against Queen takes, I had prepared A6, and then I was going to Rook B1, and then I was going to break here, because generally a rule in like these structures is just try and induce a weakness, as I showed in this video, where I had a very similar game. Um, but I don't know. I kind of was like, I don't know why I'm going to take here and then get a big center. I'm going to go here and try and create some complications. Um, it's activating my queen to patrol to make sure that now I have an extra defender to further, discourage him from playing h4. It pins the knight, pins the knight and queen and king. So it has some meanwhile pressure and it can be attacked, but then I'm able to swing over here. And then he went g3. So after g3, I was like, okay, he's got to be preparing to go h4. Like, what is this? What is this playing? I mean, I guess that's why he's 1570, but I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So what I figured was I don't really want to push my H pawn to try and gain space and go for an attack because that's what I was thinking at the time is I can push here, bring a rook over, and bring a queen over, which I did in the game. But I was like, okay, first things first, I should stop him from going take, and then here and having pressure. So now I go bishop d7, and now obviously if he takes, bishop's open. So then he goes bishop d2, and then here's where the fun begins, let's say. So I play h5. It's the best move. Like it is straight up. This is the best move. Now, why did I play it? Well, because I knew that in the structures that are almost identical, usually White's idea in this line is to do this. So I'm using his own idea against him, but I guess he didn't know the idea. I don't know, I'm confused too. But it made sense, and I like attacking. I haven't really had a chance to let loose my tactical guns yet, so I figured, well, let's crush him a second time. h5, and he goes knight f3. A big rule, I know I've mentioned this before, but a big rule that I've learned as I've got pretty consistently into like the 2300s and settled there, is that if you have a really good piece in the center, generally voluntarily moving it back in a backwards move is not a good thing. Like, I get that he doesn't want to induce a weakness, but after h4, I have nothing. Now I just go for a slow game. Now I probably go here and then push, bring rooks here and try to get something going on the queen side, because that's where, my pieces are. But he voluntarily leaves his knight from the center. So the computer here wants me to play knight e5, which, I mean, it just gives away a pawn, but it's a poison pawn. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it's just to get rid of a defender. It's odd. But I go here. I go rook a b8. So far playing pretty perfectly thus far. And I was happy. I was like, okay, we're now going to push here. This knight's defended. Well, I'm going to go a3 first, and we're going to get something going. But now I am threatening to have something on the queen side, and now it's just up to him which way he wants to castle. He chose long castles. And then here I sat here for like 10 minutes because it wasn't that I didn't see the move. It was that I saw it right away, and then I'm just like, really? Is this what we're going to do? So I mean, obviously I should have a6 here, and that's probably just objectively best, continuing the plan. But I'm kind of like, you know what? I see Magnus always doing. He plays on both sides of the board. Like, you give him problems here, you give him problems here. That's why he's the best player. So I'm like, wait a minute. Rook h8. Now, out of nowhere, I am straight up threatening to attack him. Like, he's like, oh, he's going to go on the queen side. No, I'm going over here. Like, you're kind of just trying to paddleboard him from each side of the board. So he goes a3, which plans to kick my queen. I'm like, okay, that's reasonable. But now comes the true moment, the true test of why I'm playing rook h8. It's to push the pawn. And now you may be like, wait a minute. After I go here, which I did do, you are giving up a full pawn for nothing in return. Yeah, I'm not I'm not getting that pawn back. You can take it. Be my guest. And then enjoy the fact that now I have an open rook and all these pieces swarming. I'm going to move my rook up. I'm going to bring my other rook over. I'm going to bring my queen over somehow, probably by moving this knight. And then I'm going to play here at some point, and then my rook's going to be open. So yeah, it's a free pawn, but you get all that. And I push, and he starts thinking, and then he pushes b4. And I didn't like this because I'm like, wait a minute, aren't I trying to go here anyway? And now my queen zips over. That's the whole point of why I brought it out in the opening. We zip over, and look at this. We have assembled a complete attack out of literally nowhere. It's kind of crazy. I was really happy. Um, and then he goes 92, and the engine gives us -3. So I'm sitting here and I'm calculating. And now, obviously, here are the things to consider. Do I take? Do I push? Or do I try going g5? And this was the move that I was stuck on for so long, g5. And my idea is pretty much that if he takes, I'm no longer giving up the pawn. I'm going to take back, and then I'm going to open up the g file, and I'm going to move here. But I saw the problem, which is that he can just take. If I were to take back, he has knight f4, my queen gets kicked, and suddenly I'm making a bunch of backwards moves. The attack is done because I control this square for the knight. And if I go g4, what did I see here? I don't think, I think it was knight g3 now to cover up the g file. Queen moves, and then this, or a simple knight d4. And I don't really have a concrete way through, and like, sure, I can take here. Well, I mean, that would just lose my queen. But if I take here first, takes, I don't know, queen takes, and then takes, you just move the rook, and then there's nothing. And now my queen is kind of out of the game, and like maybe there's something. But I can't say I saw all of that, but I can say that I saw a lot of those ideas and like motifs, and I had a general understanding of the fact that if he took and then I pushed, that he would be able to defend in time. So that's why I went 95. Now 95, pretty much, I want to stop him from going knight f4, but instead of directly playing g5 to stop it, I make a threat that if he goes here, well, he just loses a piece. So I'm kind of stopping his plans without having to like literally control the square. Control the square without controlling it, that's higher level chess. So it is tactically defended. And then he goes here, knight d4. And here I think I messed up. Because I was thinking, okay, well, I still can't take because takes and I have nothing. I can't take the knight because now we can take back with the knight and there's nothing. And the other move I was considering besides the one I played was h3, and after this, just going for like positional domination. But I thought that I saw something winning. I thought that after I go bishop g4, that there's pretty much nothing he can do. He goes here, I push g5, and then I mate. So he took. And then I'm like, wait a minute. If I push now, he doesn't have to move the knight. Instead, he can go here. And if I take, he takes, and I mean, I probably wouldn't take the queen, I'd probably just take with one of the knights. And my attack's gone out of nowhere because the queen is in time to defend. It's like, oh, I'm slipping, I'm slipping. So I take a pawn and I go, okay, the attack failed. Ugh, still not fully back in form. Now we got to go for just an endgame win. So the queen moves, attacking my knight, and I solidify my knight. I kind of like this move, and now this knight, he just can't remove it. So positional playtime, we're completely swapping, attacking to squeezing. He goes f3, my bishop goes back here just to control this knight, and now I'm threatening to play e5. So he goes here, I go here first, forking the rook and bishop. He takes, I get the bishop, and now I go e5. And now after e5, he moves back. Here's where I started seeing some problems, which is that I saw. Now this is actually just a fascinating I'm really happy that I managed to see this. But I saw that if I go d4 right away, he has knight c5. And now my bishop is under threat. These pawns aren't really going anywhere, and I probably have to move it and go like this, but he doesn't have time. I don't want him to go knight c5. But if I go b6 to stop it, then he can probably just take. And it's not going to be as good. And so I'm like, wait a minute, what if I just go g5 now? And the difference is that after here, takes, this move knight c5 no longer attacks my bishop, thus meaning I don't have to move it and I don't have to react. And also my pawns just look a lot more impressive. So now I have cleared up the d7 square, and I bring my knight to d7 to stop it from going here, to prepare this and this. Apparently I blundered a draw here, but I don't know how. Better was probably, I guess, just g4, something like this. Oh wait, I can just take. We can do a little take, and then probably just take here. Or queen h3 was good. Anyways, so I move my knight, he pushes, and now I push. I say, okay, I now have two connected passed pawns, we're cooking. So he takes, I take with my queen, and he puts his knight in this little square. And again, I just always got to make sure that there aren't forks. Like if I push here too early, uh-oh, I lose. So just got to have some level of caution. So I put my rook on the open file. I say I'm no longer pushing b5. We're going to control the open file. And he cannot even contest me because my queen also controls that square. He goes queen b2, threatening a discovered check on my king. I go here, which cuts off the line of fire. He moves a rook, and I put my knight on this really good square, threatening all sorts of tactics. He goes rook e2, which defends the queen because my previous threat, I don't know, let's say he makes a random move like here. My threat is this, knight f3, he can't take because he loses the queen, and he just loses a piece on the spot, if not even more, because I can probably just do this. So just brutal defending. Rook e2, and now I just double. We check, and we trade queens, and now I push, and now I have my pawns advancing further. The king can never join the game because he loses the rook. And I was like, okay, it's game over. Now it's a matter of technique, h4. I push, gain more space. He goes here. I stop the knight from moving to either of these squares. He brings the king in, I bring my king in, and I managed to get here in time to guard everything. And now we have this position where after he moves to knight c1, here I was sitting, I was thinking for a while because I couldn't find the way through. I have to be somewhat delicate here because let's say I want to go something like rook c2. What can happen is that he can just go take. Well, ooh, not there. And something like this. And now I'm going to get checked on the back rank. I'm going to lose this, and this pawn is fully blockaded. Like I literally can't help my pawn. And I mean, there's even ideas here of just taking here with the knight, and then now he'll be able to win this. But this is a different, doesn't work now. But I'm thinking that eventually I go rook c3, and what I figured was that after he took this knight with check, we could set a little trap. Now, obviously, I can't take back because he takes here and it's a draw. I don't have two pawns. I have one pawn. This can't promote. Is that I step aside. And now the knight's pinned and is going to be lost in time. And he cannot defend it because if he moves back here, then I can find something. So he checks me. I take the pawn. And he takes my pawn. Now I reach this position. Both of my pawns are gone, but the king is in the center. All my pieces are better. His pieces aren't coordinated. And I'm like, yeah, this is a checkmate. We're going to go check. He goes here. I check him again. And now the point of shuffling my rook is now the king can no longer, go this way at all. I check him. He moves up. I check him again. And now I'm like, okay. He'll bring his king up here. I'll probably check him here. Take here, and now his pieces are just absolutely screwed. Like they have zero coordination. They can't really do any moving. Everything is just falling apart. But anyway, here. checkmate. And then it was over. So this cuts off this, knight here, king here, so he can't move here because of the pawn, here because the knight, here because of the king, here because of the rook. Checkmate. Have a good day, everyone. See you tomorrow for an even crazier attack.